Welcome to Rising Tide Startups, where today's most exciting solopreneurs share their startup stories. They also deliver tangible strategies that they would implement personally if starting their business over today. Each episode is a startup masterclass. Make sure you take notes. Take it away, Kevin.
This is Kevin Prewett with a special episode of Rising Tide Startups coming live to you from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. You can see the ocean behind me and hear the waves crashing if you listen really closely. It's a recap episode of the first 5 seasons. I just wanted to kind of hit some highlights of special guests we've had, the great things they've said, the great advice that they've given us. And there's one quote that I want you to think about as we're walking through this entire episode here. And it starts with, if you're not living life on the edge, you're taking up too much space. The first thing I want to do is talk about the very best quotes we received from Rising Tide guests. As we go through these quotes, I don't want to add a lot of commentary. I just want them to kind of sink in and let you just think about them, ponder on them, and just contemplate, what does it mean to you? What does it mean in your space? And the very first one I want to mention to you is live in the tension. The second is, don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. The third, really important point, is we must have a rich interior life. The next one is, it's always desperation over inspiration. Next great quote is, never confuse effort with results. There's a great piece of advice. Attract, don't chase clients. This one's really important to me. Passion is not purpose. Find your purpose. The 3 main elements of business: relationships, relationships, and relationships. Here's one from a very good friend. Create the world that you want to work in. How important that is in in this current COVID crisis we find ourselves in. The next one is, where there is one, there are normally many. The last quote, nail it, then scale it. Best business quotes that I received over more than 150 episodes over the course of 5 seasons. Now I want to talk about 12 pieces of startup advice I think were so germane to the situation that you're in as you are contemplating starting a side gig or stepping out of your corporate gig. First one is kind of a double one. Don't niche too early and don't niche too late. Second piece of startup advice is focus on how you can help just one person. Kind of goes back to the last quote we had, nail it, then scale it. This is a great one. There is such a thing as bad revenue. Another important piece of advice is start before you're ready. This is one that really speaks to me. Fall in love with the direction, not the idea. Go deep in a vertical. It's kind of the whole idea of niching down. Everyone needs a clear, articulate business story. One of the first things you've got to do, prove product market fit as soon as possible. This is a great one. It's kind of a Reid Hoffman quote. If you're not embarrassed, 12 months in and you probably started too late. This one says, start messy. I love that quote. This is a really important piece of business advice here. Flush out the bottom 10% annually. Talking about staff, vendors, clients. One that's extremely important. You must learn to love your customers. And the last piece of startup advice, the top 12 that I received, don't try to drink the ocean. 12 of the very best business quotes from our guests and 12 of the very best pieces of startup advice that I found over the first 5 seasons of Rising Tide Startups. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the journey with us. Thank you for your support, your encouragement. Thank you for networking well from between guests that introduce us to their network. It's been a great ride. I'd like to end with a great quote by Patrick Overton. It says, when you come to the edge of all the light you have and must take a step into the darkness of the unknown, believe that one of 2 things will happen. Either there will be something solid for you to stand on, or you'll be taught how to fly.
Another episode in the books. We hope you heard some great takeaways. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on iTunes and YouTube. As always, thanks for listening to Rising Tide.